Bonjour everyone! Today we make these delicious fermented bread buns. No oil, no gluten, no dairy, just real simple ingredients and a little bit of patience. I've made it so many times now, soaked it, blended it, fermented it in different containers, even tried different oil alternatives, failed it, and finally, I think I got it right. These are the ingredients you will need. As always, there will be a link to my Substack with all the exact measurements and the written steps. These buns are nutritionally very interesting. Double the fiber, triple the iron compared to regular white bread or a baguette without compromising on the taste or the texture. Of course, you shouldn't expect it to taste like a baguette. But look at this, super soft and neutral enough in taste to work with sweet and savory meals or toppings. So if you're trying to eat a little bit healthier, this is a swap I would genuinely recommend. Okay, let's make them. We start the night before with the lentils and the quinoa, washing them well in a bowl or in a big mason jar like I'm doing here. I found this technique much more efficient and less demanding in terms of water. Just take your time here, meditate if you want. Put your hands in and rub the lentils and quinoa gently between your palms. And when the water gets very cloudy and the lentils and quinoa are not so slippery anymore, drain and give them another quick rinse. But don't hesitate to go for another round if you're not so sure. The water should be clear and they shouldn't feel slippery on the touch. This slippery feeling is basically the sapponing. It's what we are trying to get rid of, and it's what's making the quinoa, for example, bitter. Many people complain that their quinoa tastes bitter, and the problem is that you are not washing the quinoa very well. Then you soak them overnight in fresh water. Just make sure there is enough water with just a splash of apple cider vinegar. And soaking actually helps with digestion, making the nutrients easier for your body to actually use. Once soaked, so that should be in the next morning, drain and rinse them one last time. Please make sure that you drain them very, very well. If there is still too much water left, it will affect a bit the shape of the buns. They will be a little bit more flat, if that makes sense. Now it's time to blend. What we are trying to do here is to mix the lentils and the quinoa with 200 milliliters of water and a pinch of salt. I like to use an immersion blender because it means that I won't need to clean 50,000 dishes, if you know what I mean. You want the overall texture to be very, very, very smooth, okay? Try to aim for as few whole quinoa pieces as possible. And once you manage from here, we won't need a blender anymore. Here the consistency should almost be like a smoothie. Then we can add the fat. I have 3 options for you. The original recipe actually calls for 4 tablespoons of oil, and in my humble opinion, I think that's way too much. I tried it and the bread ended up really smelling like fried food. But if you still want to use oil, I found out 2 tablespoons of oil is more than enough. It gives you a very great texture without this smell. But if you rather go oil-free, here are the 2 others. First, a flax egg. So to make it, basically you just mix ground flax seeds and water. Let the mixture rest for 10 minutes. I also had to learn the hard way that the flax needs to be very finely ground. Otherwise you will feel it between your teeth and actually affect the texture and the bread. You want it almost like a flour consistency. And the other option is actually my favorite. It's using hemp cream. Just hemp seeds blended with water. Hemp gives a slightly softer texture compared to the oil and the flax version, but the flax version is actually a very nice option as well. It's budget friendly and rich in fiber. By the way, I made several videos about me testing these recipes. I went through several iterations testing different oil alternatives and even containers, so if you're interested in this kind of stuff, I will link the videos below. So just choose your fat and add it to the mix. I'm going with my favorite, of course, the hemp cream. And I just manually mix here with a spoon. Now the lifter, so I'm going to add the baking soda and either lemon juice or vinegar. But I need to be honest with you now, guys. I'm actually very curious on whether this will still rise nicely with just the natural fermentation, no baking soda, no vinegar. I haven't tried that version yet, but if enough of you want to see it, let me know in the comments and I will test it for a future video, I promise. And now slowly we can add the psyllium husk, 1 spoon at a time, meaning you add 1 spoon, then you mix well, another spoon, and you mix well, and so on. You will notice that the dough is getting thicker and thicker, so don't take too much time here. This is really the magic ingredient. It's what let me make bread out of pretty much any legume. I tried chickpea, pure lentils as well. Psyllium husk is basically replacing the gluten and is also fiber rich. And now the consistency went from smoothie to yogurt. Now that everything is well mixed together, it's fermentation time. So we are going to ferment for between 8 to 10 hours. What I do is to cover the container and place it somewhere warm. So I don't have anywhere warm, so I use a hot water bottle instead. And I just change the water halfway through and flip the jar so that the heat is evenly distributed. You can also pop it in the oven with just the light on. Just the light on. Okay. By the way, I'm using a glass container, so this mason jar, and I learned that glass makes the fermentation a lot more efficient. So if you are also using a glass container, I would recommend sticking close to that 8 to 10 hours window. Otherwise, it can develop some bitterness, especially if you used the oil and the flax version. Alternatively, ceramic actually gives you even more room. I fermented that specific batter for over 12 hours in it once, and it worked perfectly, regardless of the fat version chosen. 8 to 10 hours later, this is how it looks. Look how the batter increased in volume. Let me show you in a better light. You see, the batter was up here and now it's there. We almost added like a third of the volume. Pretty cool. That's also why I kind of like glass, because you can see what's going on. You see these little bubbles here? It will give the buns that sponginess. And it also should smell fermented. You'll notice it. Okay, let's make them. To help you shape them, you can use cold water. And you will get about 10 buns, maybe a little bit less. Finish with a sprinkle of seeds on top. And now we are ready for the oven. 180 degrees Celsius. 55 minutes. C'est parti. And voila, the hardest part, let them cool completely. And look at that. Gluten-free, nutritious buns with mostly lentils and quinoa. And time. These little buns give you interesting protein and fiber content, very far from a slice of white bread ever will. Again, I've had them with sweet and savory toppings and they work wonderfully well either way. You can leave them on the counter covered for 2 to 3 days. Any longer than that, I will put them in the fridge for up to a week so they don't spoil. Like I said, the step-by-step is on my Substack, but Substack is more than a place where I share the recipes. It's also a community place for everyone on a health journey. It's where we can connect and really see what our bodies can do and we give them what they need to thrive. I would love to have you there and I hope you love these buns as much as I do. In the meantime, bisous bisous and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!